Kampay. Ah,
To your
Yeah,
good book.
ito lang ito lang ang isang mug kasya isang galon no. Ganun. No? And this is our Oktoberfest special. We have very dignified personalities who
when
are
they're sober.
gracing this when they're sober. No, I'm talking about first of all newcomer Mike Sanvictores. He's the national sales manager of Premium Wines and Spirits. No, sila yung mga nag-distribute ng mga kagaya nito in Lagavulin, di ba Mike? Yan, ganyan.
Wow.
Tapos, Alex Arellano, who's a certified alcadect, and Tonypet. Of course, we also have Tonypet Sarmiento, who is a certified spirits connoisseur, no? Total malapit na yung Todos Los Santos kaya spirits, no? Yun ano niya,
Spirits.
no? Oh, Yat ko, kumusta na yung binti mo? Gusto mo sumali? Just message me if you want to join in and I'll send you the link. Oh, no. Good morning. My name is George. Welcome to Boomer's Banquet. We're going to be talking about spirits, not only beer. Oktoberfest, syempre beer, but we're going to be talking about some other things. Mike Sanvictores here. Take a look at his background. No, ganyan, no? He's the one who introduced me to several kinds of several varieties of alcoholic drinks and several varieties of beer. No, yung sinabi niya, George, ano to? Hindi matapang to. Binigyan ako ng isang latang ganyan. Gumagapang na ako pag ano. Good morning. Good morning to you, all of you. Bob, ikaw muna.
Mula sa maboboteng usapan, kahit malalatang usapan, bote hanggang lata, whatever it is, as long as it brings about friendship, camaraderie, and a lot of good cheer. Pag-uusapan natin ngayon, Oktoberfest natin, our version dito sa Boomer's Banquet. Welcome guests and welcome everyone viewing. Ted, kamusta?
Yeah, inuman na. Oktoberfest na. Kaya huwag kayong magtataka kung mamaya mga senglot na tong mga katabi natin.
Alam mo, Mr. Clean.
Hindi, bago yan, baka makalimutan natin yung BioFresh. Dapat itong suot pag nagiinuman.
Yun,
para hindi nangangamoy yung mga paa natin.
Siyempre,
salamat din sa Design Makati kay Mr. Roy Orjales para sa aming shirts ng Boomers Banquet.
Ang tataka lang ako, bakit iba yung kulay ng akin eh. Ang tamo yung kebab.
Hindi, pareho tayo yata eh.
So, yung kebab lang ano.
Nangupas yata sa atin.
Nangupas na kaagad.
Dahil sa ilaw yan. At saka,
Mr. Roy, padala ka ng pink na na Boomers Banquet t-shirt.
Padala ka na rin ng bra. Lumalabas yung boob ko rito, kaya Boomers Banquet niya ito.
Ayan. Okay, let's go to our guests. Number 1, Alex Arellano, the alcoholic, no? Good morning, Alex.
What's up?
What's up? Yan, no? His name in radio before was Alex in Wonderland, in case you're wondering. No, yon, no? Ikaw ba nagbigay sa sarili mo ng pangalan na yun? Alex
Mike
in Wonderland.
Pedero. Si Mike Pedero may kasalanan ng Alex in Wonderland.
Ayun, no? Si Mike talagang, he's very creative when it comes to giving names like Brian Panty. Yan, no? Siya rin nagbigay nun eh. Brian Panty and Alex in Wonderland.
Swerte nga ako, disente pa yung binigay sa akin.
Oo nga, no? Can you imagine kung ano?
Minsan ko lang nakasabay si Alex, nakita si Alex ever na dati. Inuman pa rin yun, George. 1980s yun.
Sa Green Hills?
Hindi, sa Timog.
Sa Timog. Aha.
Hindi na nga niya maalala eh. Kasi we're all
buzzed. Alala ko si Alex sa Wilson, sa bar. Yung huhulaan mo yung kanta.
Tapos, yesterday.
So, huhulaan mo yung kanta. Kami palagi ni Fred James na nakakahula. No? Nasa kabilang mesa pala sila Alex. Tapos pinipilit niya i-disqualify ako ng may-ari. Dahil,
nga. Parang unfair advantage yun pare.
Kasalanan ko bang pinanganak ako, marami akong alam sa tugtog?
You were cheating on my chair. Uy, nawala si Yayay.
No? Uy, ba't nawala si Yayay? No? Okay, speaking of which, no, meron pa tayong isang certified connoisseur. Yan, para pagandahin naman natin. Tonypet Sarmiento. Tonypet, good morning to you.
Good morning, good morning. Actually, I'm not a connoisseur. I'm an over-enthusiast ako. Over-enthusiast.
Over enthusiast, okay?
It's good to know.
In Tagalog, lasengo.
Yeah,
Marami naman
Ayun.
nakaka-relate so it's okay.
it's true.
Ayun,
It's true.
no? Tonypet, thank you for joining us. And of course, no, the esteemed Mike Sanvictores, no? Mike, kumusta na?
Thank you, Howie. Good morning to all. Nice to
Yan,
see everybody.
Nagaling pa yan sa inuman kagabi.
So, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you rin for joining us. What
Fit
were
na
you
fit
drinking
pa rin.
What were you drinking last night, Mike? Kasama nung Beda Boys.
Yeah, we had Macallan 12, courtesy of Mr. Benson Ong.
Nandun
And
si
then we
Benson, si
finished
Kuya.
off with
All right.
Budweiser.
Aha.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, no? You know, Mike talaga, no, yung just to give you an idea, I asked Mike one time, Mike, kumusta nga pala yung Lagavulin? Masarap ba yun? Because somebody was gonna send me Lagavulin from the States. Tapos sabi niya, the taste grows on you because it comes from, what do you call that? Factory ba, Mike?
Yeah,
Nasa tabi ng dagat?
location of the distilleries beside the sea. So yung
Yeah.
flavor ng sea pumapasok dun sa distillery. So
Yeah.
when you drink the whiskey, it's kind of medicinal. Medyo seaweed taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I realized that the first time I tasted it, sabi ko, what the hell is this? No, ganyan, parang ang sama, no? Compared dun sa mga dati. Kaya lang, when I got
Yeah.
used to it, ayoko nang uminom ng iba. Parang ang sarap talaga
Yes,
ng
yes.
ng Lagavulin. No?
Yeah.
So I got hooked
Yeah.
to it, and thank you to Mike Sanvictores. Of course, he was able to explain to me the facts of whiskeys. No, yun ang ano eh. Okay, let's get on with the discussion. Alex, how old were you when you first drank?
18?
18 o
Bait.
Abiding ako nun eh. Masunurin ako sa
Bait.
tatay ko. Sabi niya, bawal ka magkabisyo hanggat di mo kayang bayaran.
Okay.
So, basta nagka-racket yata ako nun when I was 18. I think I had a summer job. So, my rationale was, hey, I'm paying for my own bisyo. I'm starting today.
Ayun, di ba?
Of course,
So where was
dahil
that? What was the first drink you had?
beer, syempre.
Beer. Okay.
San Miguel. Pale Pilsen. But the worst drink I ever had when I didn't have money pa. I'm sure you all have your own stories about the worst alcohol you ever had. Sa akin, White Castle whiskey.
White Castle whiskey. Bakit?
May kabayo.
White Castle yan.
Napasakay ka sa kabayo.
Napagano yung kabayo, hindi babae na hindi babae. Di ba?
Ang feeling ko nun, nung natapos yung inuman, para akong nasa dentista, yung bagong saksak ng Novocaine. Ang kapal na mukha, sampalin mo ako nun, okay lang sa akin.
Hindi, ganun yan eh. Pag maganda yung trip mo, yung babae na papag-trip mo. Pagka hindi maganda yung kabayo. So, up or down.
So, meron kang, uy, kabayo, di ba? Uy, kabayo.
Iba yung nakikita.
That's the worst, I think, for me. White
That's the
Castle.
worst. Marami ka ba nainom?
Well,
Walang
tatlo
halo.
kami. Naubos namin isang bote. How old was I then? 18? No? Marami yun.
Walang halo.
Na yun, no?
Amateur pa ako nun eh. Ngayon,
Oo.
professional na ako sa paginginom. So, I know how to... I know what to do.
Tigatlo na kayo. Hindi na kayo tatlo. Tigatlo na kayo.
Alam mo na yung spelling ng moderately.
Yan, gano'n. Siyempre,
Kaya nga
part of growing up, you learn what you can do with alcohol.
Yeah, oo, no? Na marami palang uses ang alcohol, no? What about Tonypet? When was the first time you drank?
I was in a weird situation because my dad wasn't here when I was growing up, so he was in another country. So ang nangyari noon was I would always hang out with the older kids because I was the eldest, but at that time sa village namin ako yung pinakabata. So I used to play guitar a lot. So I would be the one who would be playing guitar while they'll be drinking. And then pa isa-isa na, it started out with beer. Then it moved into beer, tsaka gin. Of course, and by gin I mean the angry kind, diba? So
Gin bulag
Cuatro
talaga,
Cantos,
no?
as in it was and then that siguro was 12 years old. 12 years old.
Mhm.
12. 12.
12 years old.
Oo,
Wala pang teen yun, ha?
Wala.
Uy, Drew Barrymore drinking age yan.
Oo.
Oo.
Yun yung mga usapan nun is, bago yung Phoebe Cates na na poster na nabili ko sa tindahan, mga gano'n. So,
Tititigan mo yun maghapon. Phoebe Cates.
Brooke Shields,
Paradise.
Phoebe Cates. Oh my God.
Yan, tapos ano
So,
pa yun
yun.
mga iba-iba na yung nakikita mo after a few.
Kinakausap ka na niya pagbalik mo sa kwarto. Kinakausap ka na
Phoebe,
niya, asking how
live
your
na
day
siya.
was. Iba yung
Live
tama nun.
in 3 dimension, di ba? Kitang-kita. Grabe yun. Tapos
Saka,
hindi na namin papakwento sa'yo kung ano nangyari pagkatapos.
Wala na.
Or baka gusto mo. Okay.
Anyway. Fade to black. Slowly fade to black.
Yeah, eksakto. Tapos, si Mike naman, tatanong pa ba natin? Mike, you've grossed through almost everything na maiinom mo dyan eh. Pero, nung nagsimula ka, did you start with just the plain thing? The beer?
Well, what do you mean? When they started drinking or they started in the industry?
When you started drinking. Maybe when you were about 6 years old, mga ganon.
No, I was at the time living with my brother. We shared the same room. So what happened was, ako yung taga-bili niya ng tanduay.
Ako, tanduay.
So
Okay.
every time na bibili akong tanduay, meron kami session sa kwarto niya. Little by little, taste lang. So I grew up with tanduay Coke. Actually, it's a very good product. Tanduay rum.
Tanduay at saka cola.
Rum.
No?
Yes, Coke.
So yun yung kombinasyon nun, yun sa'yo. Nag-umpisa ka na kagad sa blends, ano? Bilis.
Yes.
Ang Coke, no? Rum Coke?
Yeah.
Rum Coke.
But the spirits industry kasi in the Philippines is very, very young. Relatively young lang. Imported spirits. Before 1987, you cannot import imported spirits. Did you know that? Bawal.
Ano?
87? Before 87.
So,
Yeah, 87.
you mean to tell me
So
puro
when-
smuggled dati?
Yeah. Yes. It's all through another
Basis.
channel. But legally, you cannot import. Because when
Uh-huh.
Cory
Informal.
was appointed president and she needed money to start up the economy, the World Bank told her, okay, we will lend you, but you have to open up your importation. One of them was wines and spirits, imported wines and spirits. So it's only in 1987, it's about 3 decades ago, that the imported wines and spirits was born. So very, very young. Kasi ibang countries, they've been doing imported spirits for so long eh. Tayo masyadong bata yung industry. So during that time, everything was local.
Okay. Those tayo sa World Bank.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, World Bank.
Thank you, World Bank. You're the best.
Kaya nga nangyari sa industry. Yeah, during the yung mga hotels were the only ones allowed to carry imported. So when they have imported spirits, they price it so high because the scarcity of imported spirits was so hard to get. That's what happened. Yeah.
That's how it is.
But in reality, yeah, the industry is very young, so there's so much room to grow. Kaya if you look at the volumes of imported versus local, the imported liquor spirits industry is only 5% of the local. Very, very small.
Oh.
Yes.
And I
Very
actually imagined na imported na ngayon has a bigger market. So it's a totally different thing pala.
No. 5%. Merely 5%. Because the local market is so huge. Beer alone is very, very big. It's about 220 million cases. Rum is about 18,000. Gin is about 28,000. The local brandy is about another 20,000. So, malayo talaga yung imported. And imported is about maybe 10 million cases.
Wow.
Total.
Uh-huh.
So
So
malayo
that's
talaga.
one lesson we're learning from Mike now, no? Maybe it's about time we reconsidered our drinking options and go try some of the products Mike is actually ano nagulat nga ako dun sa yung when Mike offered me a certain beer. What beer was that, Mike? The red can?
The red can.
Belgian beer
Was
yun
it
eh.
Budweiser? Ah, the
No,
Belgian
not
beer, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Artois?
Banquet and the yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of with the beer naman kasi, we have the regular lager style beer, which is San
Yeah.
Miguel, which is very very good beer. But other countries kasi they produce beer with certain flavors like the Belgians. Kaya nga yung mga Americans when they go to Europe and they taste their beer, when they come back to the US, sabi nila, ba't ganito yung beer sa US? The flavor profile is very, very flat. But when they go abroad, they find out that there's so many kinds of beer that is very, very flavorful. Kasi the process is different. So
yeah, yung peach flavor sarap
that's
eh.
how. Yeah.
Yung, di ba, yung peach flavored beer? Okay yun eh. Now, yung I've been wondering paano I'm a crossword puzzle addict, no. Tapos there's always this question sa crossword puzzle. Regularly ordered in bars. Ang sagot IPA. What does IPA
Yeah.
stand for?
Yeah. IPA is
Anyone?
Indian Pale. Indian Pale. It's a
Indian
style
Pale.
of beer. Yeah.
Okay.
Indian Pale Ale. IPA.
I see.
So
Pale ale.
yeah, it's a different style of producing beer. Usually done in Europe nga, and then when the Americans went to Europe, they started doing this kind of styles of beer. Kaya ang daming craft beer sa American na nag-produce, backyard people doing beer, adding flavors to the beer.
That's
Ganun na nangyari.
fascinating. Ang galing, ano?
Yan
Going
parang
back-
naging
Yeah,
ano
and
na rin
then-
dito, George, di ba? Parang nag-trend na rin dito for a while
yung
before
craft
the
beer.
pandemic.
Oo,
Dumadami na.
no? Oh, I remember yung isang restaurant nga, yung Casa Marcos diyan sa nung nasa Morato. They didn't offer anything but craft beer. Hindi it wasn't really that good, no? So sabi namin sa waiter, wala ka ba San Mig Light? Sir, wala eh. Doon sa basement, nandun ang Rustans Supermarket. Bumili ka San Mig Light, no? Bumili ka ng 12, no? Bili naman siya. But we had to pay corkage for that, no? Kaya
The
lang
customer
ganun,
is
no?
always light.
Oo nga eh, no? The customer is always light. Ayun. What about Tonypet? Tonypet, what is your drink of choice?
Ano eh, sa amin sa advertising kasi para it's relative to where your where your stature is in life eh. When you start out as a junior, you drink a lot of beer. Kami we used to drink a lot of pale pilsen. There was a time that we had to during the rock era in advertising na maraming mga bands. And the beer, parang may beer wars na. I mean, they had San Miguel. San Miguel is obviously the strongest, obviously.
Yeah.
And then they had Red Horse also with coming into the picture. Everyone was starting to drink Red Horse. Ang magandang nangyari was in all of that, parang nakapili ka eh. So then light came in, people started playing healthy. Actually, kasalanan na Alex to eh.
Ganun?
Nung ininom namin,
Walang yaka, Alex.
sila yung San Miguel beer team yan mga yan eh. Kaya kung ano iniinom namin dahil sa kanila. So we kind of shifted from regular pale to light. Tapos noon, there was a bar in Makati sa Palangka that started serving Jack Daniels by the shot.
Yeah.
Kasi started shifting to Jack Daniels pag may sweldo. And then you start moving on to siguro mga around 12 years ago we kind of shifted to single malt. Time was when murang-mura pa yung Japanese, a lot of the different whiskeys were still a lot of the Suntory drinks were still murang-mura. And then then a good friend of mine, si Adrian Texon, actually he's
Teka, yung ba yung AIDS Texon? The
Yes.
famous AIDS Texon? Okay.
yeah, so Age is actually he actually was the Philippine representative or ambassador to Macallan. And I think now he handles Glen Rothes and what's the other one? The Viking whiskey. Highland Park.
Okay.
So we've been drinking that, but I love Lagavulin. Grabe.
Oh, sarap no? Sarap nung ano
16 na tama ba? Lagavulin 16.
Yes, that's right. I'm expecting another one in a balikbayan box anytime now. So hopefully.
George, pwede
Yes.
kailan darating yun? Pwede, nasa na bahay mo?
Pare, papupunta, I will invite you, no? I will give you a wrong address.
You're so greedy, pare.
Padala mo ng bogus na PCR test.
George.
Ano yan?
Lagavulin 16.
Lagavulin
16. Walang iya, no?
The very bottom.
It's creamy. It's very creamy.
Pwede pa-grab yan? Pwedeng, grab.
Baka hindi umabot sa iyo pag
Pinag-interesan ng grab driver. Teka, Alex.
Kalahati na lang ito.
Yes.
Kalahati na lang.
Oo nga. Alex, teka. Bakit ikaw may kasalanan nung San Miguel? Anong doon?
kwento nun?
Actually, may kasalanan nun. The guy who launched that, the creative director launched that was Joey Venezuela.
Okay.
Joey Venezuela, siya yung ECD namin sa McCann. Siya rin yung siya yung Obi-Wan Kenobi ko pagdating sa alcohol.
Nasama pakinggan pagdating sa alcohol.
Master.
Joey is siya yung nag-introduce sa akin sa single malt whiskey. Ako kasi nun, Johnny Walker Black Label, kala ko that was the height of sophistication. Kala ko, ang yaman-yaman ko na pag naka-Black Label ako. And then, si Joey, siguro naawa sa akin, nakahali ka, tagalaloma ka, matuto ka ng single malt whiskey. So he brought me to this really swanky bar sa Mandarin, yung Kipling's.
Oh, in Kipling's, yeah. Yung may tabako pa, di ba? May cigar pa.
Proceeded to give me a bachelor's degree in single malt. So, ako naman mga.
Did you meet Barbara?
Walang ganito sa Laloma. Swanky talaga eh.
Wala nag-abroad,
Oo, mismo. Ako siya, talaga ako pagdating sa alcohol na social. So si Joey Venezuela,
ayaw pa lagyan ng di ba? Walang yellow dapat pag single malt di ba?
It depends on what you how you how you want to drink it.
Straighter on the rocks.
Para sa Kipling's
reading up later on, there are some, if you like it straight and pure, that's fine. There's other people who say, you should cut it with a little bit of water so that you can appreciate the real flavor and the artistry of the distiller.
Okay, Yun ang totoo ba yun, Mike?
They all sound like good stories to tell while you're having booze, diba?
Oh, yeah, right.
Actually,
Mike, totoo ba yun?
The reason why they want to, they say you add a little water because it brings out the flavors of the whiskey actually. Just a little bit. That's very, very true.
It opens it up, di ba?
Yes. It opens it up. But of course, in any drink, you can enjoy it the way you want it. You put ice, you put whatever you want. But as long as that's the way you want to enjoy the drink. Neat with a little water or ice, it's fine.
Yung mga napapanood ko mga pelikulang cowboy dati, di ba? Whiskey yung tough guys drink, di ba? Pagka binuhos mo dun sa bar, uusok. Ganun ba talaga? Pag binuhos mo?
Depende sa whiskey siguro, di ba?
150 proof. Yeah.
Yun yung mga
yung
ibang klase na yun.
Araw, yeah. The proof kasi or the percentage of alcohol was very probably different before. It was not regularized. Wala silang controlling body. Unlike today, of course, whiskey can only be bottled at a certain percentage or a certain proof. Higher than that, they cannot do it anymore.
I see. So, and what's the maximum proof of whiskey?
I think it's about 55%. So that's about 110 proof. Yeah.
110 proof, right? Divided by 2 kasi,
Si Teddy
Mike,
ba,
Mike, ano yun,
anong nasimulan? Sa Banayad Whiskey ka ba nagumpisa?
Teddy.
Lasang blade. Lasang blade.
Beer lang tayo. Beer
beer.
lang.
Ayun.
Oo, pero napaiba nung nakatikim ako sa Santa Cruz, Laguna na lambanog. Grabe. Talaga yung gumuguhit dito hanggang lalamunan mo. Di na ako ulit.
Kaya ka ba wala
Kaso
last week?
tagay-tagay. Yun yung tagay-tagay. Kailangan umikot yung baso. So hindi ka makakaligtas.
Sa Quezon nga raw yung lambanog pinanguhugas ng sugat eh.
Oo nga. Alcohol eh.
Pero ano yan ha? Dami ng flavored lambanog na binobotelya ngayon.
Meron na. For export pa.
Oo, yun na nga eh. No? Ako, alala ko, dati nung nagsa-squash pa ako, doon sa Manila Boat Club, kaya puro expats doon, mga Europeans.
Squash! Ka talaga, George.
Kalabasa sa madalit sabi.
Pagkatapos ng isang match, punta doon sa bar, inom ng Coke. Sabi nung sa akin, nung isang European, what's that? You're trying to rehydrate after a match? Yeah. No, don't do that. That's nothing. Ang ginawa niya, humingi ng beer, pale pilsen, at saka ginger ale, at saka isang mug. Pinaghalo niya sabay. Taste this. Pag ganyan, sarap pala talaga, refreshing. Beer and ginger ale, no? So yon, that was my first lesson in how to recuperate from really tough squash match, no? Yung beer and ginger ale. Tatay ko naman, turo sa akin, Jack Daniels, shot. Chaser mo, beer. Di ba?
Mahirap yung baliktad.
American.
Beer over whiskey, very risky, di ba? Whiskey over beer, never fear.
Ako, my experience with mixing drinks has not been very good.
Like how?
It always ends up with a trip to the big white bus. No good.
The porcelain bus.
Yan, porcelain.
The big white porcelain bus. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Grabe oh.
Bigla ko naalala, you guys ever remember Jerry Bagsit? Siya yung used to be our broadcast head sa Avia. Tapos naging parang production head ng PNG. Meron siyang, naalala ko bigla siya, meron siyang kinikwento daw yung her father had this rule about drinking. Na ang kamay, magtagal na yan sa suso, huwag lang sa baso. Para huwag mong patagalin yung tagay, di ba? Send it around.
Apurado yun.
Now we had some friends na Singaporean before we were drinking with them. It's so funny kasi sila tina-timer talaga nila eh. Pag, after a while, pag sila nagtatagay, hindi na sila nagtatagay talaga. Pero pag after time, kailangan, guys, it's time to drink more. Parang you don't have to tell us for Filipinos. Sabi ko, we drink a lot anytime. You don't need... Malaysian Singaporeans, you have to coax them into it. Like Malaysian kasi they're a bit strict, di ba? Pero grabe pag Pinoy ang kasama mo kainuman sa abroad, alam mong hindi tutumba eh. Hindi siya tutumba.
Matindi talaga Pinoy eh, no? Kailan ewan ko, no? Every time I'm abroad, order ako ng beer, San Miguel pa rin ang ino-order ko. Hindi ko malaman kung bakit. At tuwan-tuwa naman yung bartender dahil ang mahal pala ng San Miguel abroad. Because
pagkita mo ng bill, nagsisi ka.
Ganun ang eh. Mike, what is the most expensive variant or brand that you're marketing right now, that you're selling?
Well, in terms of spirits, we have a lot of single malts, but we have a single malt called Glen Grant. It's one of the single malt coming from the space side. We have a 60-year-old bottle.
60?
60 years old. Yes.
Okay.
So that means before it was bottled, the barrel had to wait 60 years old.
My goodness.
And there's only 300 bottles around the world, and we have 5. One bottle is 1.5 million. So if you are interested, please let me know. It's a very, very good product. It's 60 years old, man.
If you're interested.
Imagine looking back. What did you do 60 years ago? And then you have to
Oo
wait
nga
for
eh.
it to
60 years
to drink
ago,
that bottle.
I was in
Yes.
grade 1.
Correct. See?
Di
Now
ba?
you can open the
Maganda.
bottle. Yeah.
Maganda yan. You
So
should
that's
know
one of
someone
the
who's interested tapos sumabay ka na pagbukas.
O yun, oo.
Yan.
No? Grabe.
usually people buy those bottles to collect. And then we also have a blended whiskey called Royal Salute. We have a 38-year-old version. It's about 25,000. So that's really value for money. It's a 38-year-old whiskey, and also of course the Royal Salute 21 is also very, very good.
Yeah.
Because,
That's under the
you know,
Chivas banner, right? Chivas
Yes.
Regal yan eh.
Mike, for those who
Yes,
are
yes.
uninitiated here, bakit ginalag ng years yung ano, tsaka paano yung process?
Yeah.
Bakit umaabot
The
ng
process
60 years
is-
old, 30?
Yeah, the process is like this. When you talk about spirits, or when you talk about alcoholic beverages, of course, the difference is yung may alcoholic beverages, the alcohol that they use is ethanol. So it's either fermented or distilled. Fermentation is when you add the fruit or the barley or whatever, the rice, and you add water and you add yeast. That's fermentation. And then to further increase the alcohol, they do a distillation process. That's when they cook the fermented liquid. Fermentation is for beer, and then for whiskey, they go through the distillation. After distillation, they go through another process, which is they put it in barrels, either oak barrels or used barrels from the US. And then they age it. That's what makes it very, very expensive. Imagine a Chivas 12-year-old or a Johnnie Walker 12. You have to wait 12 years before you can put it in a bottle. 12 years. No kidding. And then the 21, you have to wait 21 years old. You put it in banded warehouse in Scotland. It's there. It sits there. Your money is there, and it sits there. And before you can bottle it, you have to wait 21, 38, 60 years old. So that's what makes the price very, very high. But of course, the process and everything is all the same, and then the flavors and stuff. But usually single malt. When you say single malt, it only comes from one distillery because Johnnie Walker Chivas is blended. It's a combination of about 30 or 40 distilleries put in the bottle. Pero itong single malt, only one distinctive place that it came from. So the flavor is there. It's not mixed with other flavors. You can really enjoy the flavors of that place. Kung ano siya, kung nasa hillside siya, kung nasa may river siya, nasa may dagat siya, may enjoy mo siya. Yun yung difference.
Grabe, no?
Malalim,
There's a science to it pala. Teka, Alex, kanina wala ka eh.
Yes.
You might be interested, sabi ni Mike. Yung 38, 60-year-old, 60-year-old
Glen Grant.
single malt.
Only
1.5 million lang,
in
pare.
the Philippines. Yeah, only 5 bottles.
Para hindi
Baka
ako
gusto mo.
30 in the world.
congressman.
Yeah.
Ha?
Pang presyong congressman yan, pare.
Baka may kilala ka.
Puro matino yung mga kaibigan ko eh.
Akala ko puro
Tony
ba ito na yung
Pet.
kaibigan mong congressman?
Tony
What
Pet.
does it follow then?
What's your favorite bar? Ako?
Tonypet.
Yeah, sige, you start.
No, when pre-pandemic kasi we started drinking sa bahay because alam mo yun, parang the bars were okay, kaya lang talagang harang eh. So what we would do is we would but normally iba-iba. Like for example, ano yung whiskey bar sa Discovery, Primea? Sa Primea, we used to go to the one in ano pa yun? Bell and Dragon. Sila ko ng Bell and Dragon before. There's a... Mandalay.
Mandalay.
Mandalay. Ako kasi pare, hindi Discovery eh. Discovery yung alam ko eh.
Santa Mesa.
80s pa yan sa Santa Mesa.
Buti hindi Firehouse.
Alam ko rin yun.
Doon nag-umpisa si Jeremiah Jr. Huwag mo mamaliitin yung Discovery.
Hey, we all gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
Ako, my favorite bar nun was Murphy's.
Murphy's.
It's a bar on, Herrera.
Esteban.
Herrera Esteban. Yeah. But the reason it was my favorite is it was near UGL. UGL is a post-production house. So pag yung post-prod namin sa UGL, ang saya ko doon dahil
lapit
pag nabaril yung UGL sa post-prod house where you finish all the commercials. That's the final stage where the client says, yes, we love it. Yes, we don't like it. You need to revise it and you need to work 200 hours to make this right. Either way, pag sa UGL ang post, if your commercial was okay and approved, you had a reason to go to Murphy's, di ba? Celebrate. Pag binaril,
you had a reason to go to Murphy's.
Win-win.
It's about the clients. They don't understand our fucking art. I also like Murphy's.
Win-win situation.
I also like Murphy's kasi if there was a big gap between the agency presentation and the client presentation, another excuse to go to Murphy's.
That's the Irish bar, di ba? That's the Irish bar.
Yeah.
And a really good selection of beers.
And even the food there is good.
Food is good.
Right.
Ako, may isa kaming commercial nun. We had an online agency review ng commercial at around 3 p.m. But agency people think fast, di ba? So, we knew it, we liked it. So, all we did was, fix this frame, fix that frame, done. Tapos we were out of UGL, out of the post-prod by 3:15. The clients were scheduled for 5. Anong gagawin namin ng producer ko at saka ng creative director ko? Gee! Murphy's. So, in between 3:15 to 5 p.m., siguro naka-5 kami. We had 5 rounds of beer of varying strengths. We had some Boddingtons. So, pagdating ko kliyente ng 5, medyo amoy chiko kami lahat. So lahat kami, lumayo sa kliyente. Basta the clients were there, seated in the sofa kami on the other side of the room. We think that we like the offer. Here's the objective.
I have the presentation.
If you know Dato Galiaga, Tonypet, isa rin siya.
I know that.
Totally wasted during the online. Pero magaling magpanggap na, we know what we're doing.
Tsaka init ng pakiramdam mo dun eh. Ang init ng pakiramdam mo kahit na malamig yung aircon.
Yun na nga eh. Lalo na dito, no?
Ang init ng batok mo, tapos ka parang...
Simulan natin kay Bob. Best tasting beer. Beer,
Local?
Hindi, ikaw. Local and imported.
Sa lahat ng, sabihin na natin kung bandang Europa ka manggagaling. Masarap pa rin yung Guinness eh. Masarap pa rin yung Guinness. Yung dark. Nahilig ako sa ganun.
Beer.
Medyo Yeah. Pero kung dito, syempre, doon ako sa, no kidding, Cerveza Negra. Kaya dark pa rin.
Kala ko Halili beer ang gusto mo, Bob.
Hindi ko na naabutan. Halili?
Halili beer eh, no?
Tagal na nun.
Ikaw, George.
Ako San Miguel pa rin ako. Kaya nga hindi ba kahit na out of the country ako, San Miguel pa rin yung ino-order ko eh. It's something
buti
na
yung
parating available, Bob, kahit saan ka nandun.
Hindi rin eh, kaya classic Pilsen pa rin ako. Yung si George naman yan. Light yata.
Hindi, si George.
Hindi, pag abroad, pale Pilsen ang kinukuha ko. No, San Miguel
pero
Pale.
buti available ng San Miguel kahit saan ka nandun.
Oo. Kaya lang it's classified as a premium beer kaya mas mahal talaga. Okay. Ang closest na taste ko, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, the closest to San Miguel is Tsingtao. What do you think?
China?
Yeah.
Oo. Di ba?
Yes, can be.
Oy, baka fake 'yun ha. George. China pala eh.
So yun, no, Tsingtao.
Si Alex.
Beer, it's always San Miguel Pale Beer.
Oo.
Although,
ayun.
If you want, the one we like drinking a lot sa Murphy's was Boddington's.
Beer yun?
No, it's
Irish
a beer
beer. Was it Irish? Hindi.
I really don't care about the nationality of the beer.
It's England. The cream of Manchester ang tagline nila.
Yan. But basta kami nung art director ko at producer ko, ang pogi namin pag iniinom namin yun sa Murphy's. Brad Pitt kami pag iniinom namin yun, pare.
Si Mike.
Teka, that reminds me, aside from San Miguel, yung sinerve nga ni Mike sa akin dati na beer, yung kulay pula na Belgian, that was pretty good beer. No? Paano hindi mo mapapansin matapang eh? Until sipain ka na lang bigla eh.
Si May?
Yes, I think.
Hindi mo nga maalala eh, pula.
Yeah.
Yun lang maalala mo eh. Baka hindi yun pula nung nagumpisa. Naging pula na lang nung nasipa.
Ito pa si Mike, nung naubos ko na, George, isa pa, okay to, pare. Yung ano yan. Pinipilit pa rin akong gano'n, ano? Yeah. What about
si Mike? Tanungin natin si Mike.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about you?
Before we go to the topic of beer, I just want to say we were talking about the bars earlier. I just want to pay tribute to Kipling's. That bar. Yeah. It was voted by Playboy magazine as one of the top bars in Asia. Kipling's was voted one of the top bars in Asia. In Playboy magazine, it was mentioned.
Tsaka Chief.
So, yes, when you
the waitresses in Kipling's.
Yes.
They know their stuff, no?
Yeah, when you go to Kipling's, there's a sign at the door. Leave your ego behind before you enter the door. Leave your ego. So there's no ego. And when you go inside, the managing person there, it's Barbara. She's a Scottish lady, and she will put you in place. If you don't know about whiskey, she will tell you all about the flavors of Scotland and all the flavors of whiskey. Kaya ang galing ng bar na yun. Yeah. And the servers were very, very professional. Yeah.
Saka maganda.
Of course.
It was a good place to start your whiskey journey.
Yeah.
Yes. A very good place. And they had the good
nalililigawan lahat ni Freddy Garcia.
Oo nga eh. Ang tawag ni Freddy Garcia doon sa mga sweetheart eh.
Generic eh.
Nung minsan nakita nga kami ni Freddy doon, di order siya, no? Sweetheart, lika dito. Bigyan mo ng drinks tong kasama ko. George, wag mo nang pakialaman yan. Akin yan, ha?
Isa pang idol yun.
Winner yun si FM.
Okay, balik tayo sa paboritong beer. Si Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Okay, for me, actually, I drink what's on the table. Pero leisurely, I really like San Miguel. I'm a San Miguel fan and a San Miguel drinker. I like it light. I like it easy. I find pale very, very heavy. It's a very heavy beer for me. So, yun yung sa akin. For imported naman, of course, there's the king of beers, as they say, is Budweiser. Very, very quality beer.
Oo.
Yeah.
Yun ang eh. Yung Michelob, okay ba yun?
Oh, yes. You should also try the Beck's German beer. It's also good.
Beck's.
Oh, yeah, Beck's,
you
right.
Try Hoegaarden, which is the cloudy beer from Belgium. Yeah. But these beers, you cannot really take yung hindi pwede sa inuman. You usually drink it with a meal. Kasi it complements your meal.
Yeah. Parang substitute for wine.
Tonypet.
Diba?
Yes.
Ako when I used to drink, parang meron 3-bottle rule eh. Na the first 3 bottles, it's for flavor. The rest, the rest, kahit anong napagbo sa akin, inumin ko na eh. So it has to taste good Hindi, di ba? Kasi hindi naman, and ako, totoo lang naman parang after a while when you drink, it's the company plus the atmosphere plus the ambience.
Yeah.
So at the very start, kailangan masarap-sarap yung iniinom mo. That's why
Ang pagana.
pwede nang patapon. Yeah, so ako parang if you could start off with pale, amazing, di ba? Light, not bad. I mean, I like it. Pero yeah, I've been trying out some beers by some of our friends are also letting us try different types of beer. Ako gusto ko Stella Artois.
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 Belgian yan.
Yun, no? Tama si Tonypet. Yung first 3 for taste. Masarap, di ba? Yung next batches, masarap dapat tignan. Hindi na masarap hindi na tikman eh. Tignan na lang.
Meron lang mga ibang umiinom na mas malala yung kinakain kaysa sa iniinom. So, ibang usapan yun.
Tsaka within the first 3 beers, pwede mo sabihin na, uy, okay yung flavor niya, yung profile niya, yung taste profile niya, yung mouthfeel niya. Hindi mo na pwede sabihin sa mga 5th beer mo yun eh. Parang alanganin na yung... Alam mo, pwede siyang inumin. Hindi naman gano'n.
Pero Tonypet, sa first 3 beers ba, madaldal ka na? O doon sa next, doon sa rest?
Chief, hindi ko kailangan ng beer para maging madaldal.
Okay.
Medyo pokpok ako eh. Pagdating sa ganyan eh.
GRO-ish.
Ako may tanong ako, no? Paano dati kasi?
Ano yung tatanong mo? Bakit may tissue yung drinks ng GRO?
Yun nga. At saka bakit triple yung presyo?
Ladies drink.
Inumin mo man o hindi. Di ba?
Hindi, ganito. Paano nung college kami? Pag mahaba ang break, inuman. Sinabihan na ako ng tatay ko, huwag kayo inom ng beer, maamoy ka ng teacher mo. Dapat raw vodka. Bakit walang amoy ang vodka, Mike?
Well, it's a spirit that is tasteless and odorless. Kasi nga, so when they process it, it's a very clean spirit. Walang flavor from potato or whatever fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So yun yung taste profile ng vodka. That's how they really do it. That's why vodka, you don't drink it alone. You mix it with something else. You put orange juice or whatever.
Yeah. Oh. Yun, no? Kaya pala, paano yun? Pag
Which brings me to a question. Which brings me to an important question. Why would you spend, let's say, magkano yung Grey Goose ngayon? 1.7, 1.8? Why would you spend 1.8 for a Grey Goose if vodka is supposed to be tasteless and odorless?
Well,
kung ihalo mo yung, let's say,
good
which is also supposed to be tasteless and odorless with orange juice, why don't you just spend the money on orange juice, di ba? Let's get the best fucking orange juice available.
Yung Smirnoff na flavored na lang.
Yeah. But
kaya lang, doon ako huling nalasing eh.
Kasi sa drinks naman, it's not just the taste. It's also the image. So you have to understand, Grey Goose is French, very high-end. So when people see you drink Grey Goose, you're establishing something. I am here, I've arrived, I can drink Grey Goose. Ganun yun eh. It's not really inside the bottle, but outside the bottle. You buy the bottle, the packaging is very, very nice. And it's French. So you know.
Okay, so Grey Goose, pang panlabas, pang pambahay, pwede na yung Smirnoff.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
meron pa nga dati Volga vodka eh. Gawa ng latunde niya. Volga vodka. Oo, Volga vodka.
Basta Russia, no?
Para napaka-obvious yung brand name na yun.
Volga vodka.
Magandang brand name yung kay Andrew E. Mali Vodka.
So yun ang mga no? Anyway, Alex, balik tayo kay Alex, no? When you were assigned to the San Miguel team, no? I suppose one of the reasons you were assigned was because you were an expert. Is that a valid statement? You're an expert in beer?
Oh, yeah, kasi ang kainom, if you want to look at it from a marketing standpoint, supposedly the target market ng San Miguel was, all the CDE drinkers around the world. Laking laloma ako, so I knew what all the the down class drinkers wanted, how they talk, how they drank. So yeah. But being a CD or being assigned to San Miguel, syempre, ako kasi pangarap ko rin yun when I started out in advertising. My first agency kasi was the agency that handled Toyota in the 80s. But every time I lose Reach, yeah, the biggest advertising agency on Paso Tamo.
Oh.
Ako doon, ang pangarap ko was to do San Miguel. Naganda ng mga commercial ng ginagawa ng San Miguel noon yung mga isang platitong mani, parang ako doon, like, idol ko sila lahat, sila Julius Dislate, all those guys were doing the ads of San Miguel.
Erwin Castillo was there, di ba?
No, Erwin Castillo was already in the McCann era when McCann was San Miguel in 86.
Yeah, right.
But the ads in the 80s, the Bert Marcelo is a platitong mani ads.
Those were the fun ads, eh.
Romy Simpson.
Eduardo.
Eduardo.
Yun mismo.
Si
The Efren Bata, Rico Puno ads. Yun. Idol ko talaga sila. Tony Gloria, those guys. Sila yung idol ko. So, tapos when McCann won the account, San Miguel Beer in the 86, after the EDSA revolution, they also came up with a slew of really good ads. So, ang ganda nito. I wish I wanted to work there. So, when I finally got there noong 97, parang, yeah!
San Miguel na.
Nirvana.
Oh. Ibang rin eh. Hindi, it really makes sense. Very catchy yung ads dati. Nung sa PAC pa, very catchy yung ads ng San Miguel during those days eh. Yun yung fun, fun advertising ng San Miguel eh.
Well, George, still along the line of marketing, no? Si Alex. Panahon nyo na nung pumasok na associate yung Oktoberfest sa beer celebration dito eh. No? Kasi traditional lang yan everywhere. Pero sa panahon nyo yata pumasok yun eh. Oktoberfest.
I think that started way before me. Around the time of sila Erwin Castillo pa yata. That was when they started marketing.
Si George Cerveza, no?
Napag-usapan yung Oktoberfest.
Yeah, that's when they started using Oktoberfest to market San Miguel beer nung panahon nila Erwin. Ako swerte ako, one of my first Oktoberfest with San Miguel. I had a concert with the E-Heads.
Erasure Heads ka agad din.
Star City, so yeah!
Hoy, nagbibiro lang daw Nagbibiro lang yung E-Head
Doon sa
Doon sa sinabi niyang
Hindi naman yung concert. Baka kagatin yung biro eh. Diba?
But that's not such a bad idea for
yeah, oo. Galing ang galing nung bitaw ni Ellie.
Oh. At saka, the other guys might just catch on, di ba? Hindi naman inaalis yung possibility.
Yeah.
Before anything else, we're entering our second hour. Let's just say hello to some people here. Mike Wilder, no? Everything in moderation. Mike, kaya nga sinabi, hindi na drink moderately, drink responsibly. Paano yung moderate is a very relative term, no? Yung moderate sa iba, heavy na doon sa iba eh. Anyway, Eloy de Guzman, good morning. And Bob Garcia, no? Habang nagbubunot ng ngipin, pinapanood si Mike, no? His best friend. Bob, good morning to you. Kawawa naman yung pasyente.
Ay, good morning din kay Dennis Iroa. Dennis Iroa, the journalist.
Yes,
Dennis Iroa. Teka, nababasa ko yun Inquirer ba yun?
Oo.
Yun.
Dati. No? Nag-retire na. Oy, George, ikaw ang rito, authority. Banggitin mo naman yung umpisa dito ng beer sa Pilipinas. Nabanggit ko na yung Halili Beer, di ba? San Miguel lang at saka Halili Beer, di ba? Tapos binili ng San Miguel.
Oo.
Binili na San Miguel ang halili. Ba't ako nagkikwento? Ikaw dapat.
Hindi. Ang nangyari nun, di ba, kinalaban nga ng halili. Yung halili, transit yun.
Oo.
Mga bus yun, di ba? Tapos
Sandali. Ikaw ba, George, ang parang the Enrile of San Miguel Beer?
Ayan,
Your history?
Si Aurelia.
Sorry.
Ang urban legend dyan, di ba, nung nagbukas nga yung halili beer, ginayan lang yung bote ng San Miguel, di ba? No? Sa Hong Kong na pinapagawa yung bote. Wala naman silang bottling plant dito eh. Ang ginawa ng San Miguel, di ba sinusoli yung mga bote, deposito, ganyan. Kinukuha ng San Miguel yung mga bote ng halili, binabasag. Hanggang naubusan na ng bote. No? Wala silang bottling plant dito. San Miguel meron. Dun sa yung sa pier, di ba? Yun ang bottling plant ng San Miguel dati eh. Kaya halili had to give it up because of that, no? Yung wala nang magawa eh. Actually, pinag-usapan natin to nung yung naging guest natin yung collector na merong isang kahang halili beer. Ano
Which
pangalan
was a year
nun?
ago. 1 year ago.
Ang galing nun, no? Nakakuha siya ng isang kaha.
Na
ng halili beer na mint condition.
This is a guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Parang it's only guys who would bother to collect junk like that.
What is the psychology behind it?
Gusto ko malaman, sino yung misis ng lalaki na yun? At nag-aaway ba sila tungkol sa, punyeta, itapo na yan. Bote lang yan ng beer. Wala naman dito sa Pilipinas.
Hindi. Ang masama nun, hindi na sinabi, tinapo na lang.
Binente ko doon sa nagbabakal bote sa kalye.
Binenta sa bote dyaryo.
Yung guest natin ng George, si Kyle, the Filipino picker.
Si Kyle.
Ano pa ng misis yun? She must be a saint.
Oo nga eh. She's a
kasi
saint,
that guy
really.
collects bottles of a defunct beer brand. Parang what the fuck else does he collect?
Eto tayo, since we're talking about brands, nung pumasok yung Asia Brewery, diba? I think they had 7 initial brands. Hindi isa muna yung pumasok tapos tuloy-tuloy dito sila. Lahat sinubukan nila.
Yeah.
Di ba? Nag-umpisa sila sa Beerhausen. Would you remember the others? Yung Max,
Beerhausen,
yung mga ganun?
Max Beer, Max Manila Premium Beer yun eh.
Manila Beer.
Manila Beer. Yeah.
Yes.
Manila Beer which tastes like horse piss.
I didn't know you drank horse piss.
If you could imagine what horse piss tastes like, Manila Beer yun.
Chief, remember Lager Light? Who
Lager Light. San Miguel yun.
San Miguel, Lager Light.
Ito surprising.
Ang tawag
diba,
ng
Gold Eagle San Miguel.
Sa Lager Light nun, Lugi Light.
Lugi, no?
Hindi ko nagustuhan yun. Ako kasi nun, anything that San Miguel came out with, bibiling ko, susubukan ko. Pero yung Lager Light talagang,
wag na lang.
Nung lumabas Alex yung Gold Eagle, hindi mo tinry? Yung Gold Eagle?
Try that. I like that.
Yeah, oo.
Tsaka yun yung ginawa in anticipation of Beer House.
It was slightly lighter. So, to me, ang peg ko nun was it's like Budweiser.
Yeah.
It's lighter than pale.
What about Blue Ice?
What about Blue Ice? Yata ng San Miguel yan, in anticipation of yung Asia Brewery entering the market.
Correct.
Yun yung ipang sasabong nila dapat yung Gold Eagle yan. So,
alam mo yung Blue Ice, San Miguel din yan eh. Yung low cost beer nila, no? Wala dito.
Kasi lumabas yung labat dito.
When I went to Kota Kinabalu, I was looking for cheap beer sa 7-Eleven. May Blue Ice. May Blue Ice doon.
San Miguel.
So yun. San Miguel.
George, kanina, pinakita mo kanina yung beer mo. Di ba? Yung, ayan, yung anong tawag doon sa nasa ibabaw? Yung parang bubbles.
The head.
Oo.
Yeah.
Alam mo may tamang pagsalin.
Yes. Oo.
Mula sa bote o mula sa yung draft beer.
Ito, kwentuhang naman na to eh. Sa inuman to.
Hindi,
kasi sana ginagawa rin ng San Miguel dito sa Pilipinas. Parang ano yan, pang turista rin yan, local tsaka international. Yung ginagawa ng Guinness sa Dublin.
Yes.
Malaking ano yun doon, malaking tourist attraction.
Yung sir, I mean,
Diba,
ine-educate natin yung mga tao. Paggawa ng
ang
beer.
sa kanya,
Tonypet.
ang maganda sa kanya, sir, was the fact that they built that into the marketing. Kasi nga, di ba, ito yung beer na when you pour it in, meron siyang natural head na tawag. Diba?
Yes.
So, ang ganda-ganda ng tagline nila, which is good things come to those who wait.
Yes.
Diba? So, good things come to those who wait because you have to wait for that thing to settle a little bit more. In fact, when you pour it, yung friend namin, he was taught how to pour yung Guinness. Ang galing nung science niya behind it. Kasi, you pour it until the middle, hintay ka ng konti, and then you top it off. Diba? So, ang ganda ng kwento na that story within the product allowed them to create the marketing of it. So, yun ang interesting about beer ads eh. So, the beer ads have transcended from just the physicality of the beer. It actually also moved into the social play, which is what San Miguel is great at, diba? Talking about the social dynamic of drinking, diba? Or for example, how some beers are very pride-driven, diba? Very heritage-driven. So ang ganda ng kwento, and if you look at the era of how beer advertising was, hindi siya nagiging mas exciting yung play. I don't know, Sir Alex, if you can back me up on that. Nagiging mas interesting kasi ang dami nang nagawa sa beer advertising. Diba? Ang dami nang nagawa. So, it's exciting to see how
it's dito, Alex, yun? Yung parang ang ginagawa sa Dublin ng Guinness. Na-try ba yun? Yung parang educational
demonstrate?
Wala.
Tourism o tour, di ba?
As far as I know, no. Kasi ayaw yata ng Pinoy maging educated eh.
Hindi, tsaka ang nature kasi ng Pinoy, either yung, di ba, sa bote ako
parang inherently we are instant gratification driven.
Oo. Tapos,
maganda pa rin sa Guinness, di ba, in-sponsor nila yung World Records. Tapos nandun yung kalaban ni Tonypet yata eh. Di ba? Nasa Guinness Book of World Records yun, ha? Di ba, ang ganda rin ginawa ng Guinness, marketing din yun. Pero may social dimension. Di ba? Tawa ng tawa ka dyan, Baba.
Ang ganda. Kasi kababasa ko lang.
Si Teddy pwedeng doktor to, no?
Bakit?
Mahilig mag-ineksyon eh. Saksak ng ano.
Basta hindi fake yung isasaksak. Okay yun.
Actually, isa pa sa Pinoy kasi, di ba bote nga uminom. Pag hindi naman bote, pag binubuhos, pag may head, sasabihin dinaya siya. Bakit hindi puno yung baso? Di ba? So,
kaya likas lang na mareklamo yun.
Yun ang
Actually,
pwedeng tama nga. Yung Pinoy
is the one protecting the beer. So you really need the head. You really need the bubbles. Because it's the one protecting the beer and the flavor. Keeps it intact. Without the bubbles, the beer is flat. Hindi kayo masama na yung lasa ng beer.
So that's the reason why yung mga Europeans usually, parang naiinis sila pag walang head, lalo na sa mga bar dito, yung mga tap bar.
Very important yung head. Tayo ayaw natin. Pero importante yung head.
Okay. It's the usual
Teka, papakuha ko ng shampoo. Papakuha ko shampoo para
go anywhere. All the beer books I've read when I was trying to learn about San Miguel, parang it's expected na may head talaga yung beer.
Kaya lang, this is amazing, Oktoberfest. Teddy, nakapunta ka na sa Oktoberfest, di ba? Kasama si Mrs.
Sa San Miguel.
Ay, hindi. Hindi yung sa Germany.
Sa Europe. Hindi October eh. Hindi October eh. December kami.
Kaya lang, alam mo, manghang-mangha ako, yung mga babae doon, yung mga waitress, ilan ang dalang ganito? Ganito kabigat.
George, yung sa
pinapatong
Oktoberfest na sineset up ng German club dito. Kaya nakaisa na ako doon, yung huli yata nila so far, before the pandemic. Daming bitbit na mug, tsaka
Yung Oktoberfest na yan, that to other people, they dream of going to Fatima, others they dream of going to Mecca. Munich and Oktoberfest. Yun ang,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oo. Sabay-sabay na tayo doon.
Germany ba talaga nag-start?
Actually,
Oktoberfest?
it happens in September.
Bavaria.
It happens in September. I was able
September,
to,
yeah.
September
have an
yun.
opportunity to attend. It happened in September. And you have to have an outfit. Everybody comes in an outfit. So you go to a store, you rent the outfit. And then you
you have to go in German lederhosen.
Yung suspenders.
Yes. And then the shoes, the socks, the shirt.
Pwede bang protesta na gusto ko barong Tagalog, Filipino ako eh.
Even if you
when you go to the Oktoberfest, it's a big place. And puro tent yan puro tent. But lahat ng tao naka-outfit. Pag hindi ka naka-outfit, you're gonna look
ridiculous.
Something
outsider
ridiculous, pero so everybody goes talaga with the outfit. You can either buy or rent it.
Okay. And talagang unstoppable beer yun yung ginagawa.
Oo, non-stop yun. Pati yung dito yung sponsored ng German club.
But
pati yung sausages.
The only two seatings in the afternoon and in the evening. And then all night they play 80s rock and roll music.
Hindi na polka. Dati kasi puro polka.
Hindi na. 80s rock and roll music. And then you can order parang sinasabi lang sa atin na yung lechon yung sipata.
Yung knuckle. Yung knuckle, di ba?
Knuckles.
Pig's knuckles.
Walang suka.
Oo.
Walang sausawan
Ang sinasawsaw ko doon yung horseradish. Horseradish or mustard.
Yun. Strudel. Hindi strudel. Parang ganun.
Dati sa Schwarzwälder dito may ganun
Yun. Same tradition.
Yeah.
German club din ang nagpapatakbo nun dati. Ang hirap-hirap i-pronounce.
Schwarzwälder. Ayun, mga beer, Mike, what would you recommend for, we're beer drinkers, sabihin na natin, and you would like to introduce or educate drinkers to another form of alcoholic beverage. What is the nice entry point? Is it wine? Is it brandy? Is whiskey? What?
Well, naturally, if you're a beer drinker, you will be a whiskey fan because the base of whiskey is beer. Before you can make whiskey, it's a beer muna. So it's a natural progression. And then, of course, when you go through whiskey, initially you go to the blended whiskeys, which is the basic, yung Johnny Walker or Chivas. And then as you migrate and look for other flavors, you go to single malts. Ganun yung progression
Now here's something I don't know if I should call this an enigma Andrew Tan, he was so obsessed of buying una yung Fundador, and now he even bought McCann White ba yun? No? Why are those very valuable acquisitions of Andrew Tan? What do you think?
Well, Andrew Tan is a marketing genius. He made his money through real estate and through the casino resorts world. So and he has his brand called Emperador. It's a local, supposed to be local brandy, but unfortunately we have no grapes here, so you cannot make brandy using sugar cane. But because Philippines has no official body that controls everything, they can get away with it. But actually, Emperador is not a brandy; it's a rum. Because it's
rum,
made with sugar cane.
And it tastes like rum.
Yes. So Andrew has this big empire of Emperador who was doing 30 million cases at one point. At its peak, doing about 35 million cases. So he needed to legitimize his brand. He needed to go outside of the Philippines and play internationally. That's why he bought this distillery in first he bought
Jerez.
a vineyard in Spain, and then he bought this distillery in Scotland to be able to legitimize his brand, which is a very, very smart way to do it.
And now Emperador is the biggest selling brandy in the world. Am I correct?
Yes, well, technically it's not a brandy, but the biggest spirits brand now locally, but slowly being taken over by gin. There's a big comeback with gin, never gin.
Talaga, ha? Oh.
Yes, because also, of course, Tanduay rum is also big.
Yeah, oo. Yeah. Actually, Tanduay is considered the best rum in the world. Oh.
Yes. It's very good quality rum. We should be very proud
meron
of
bang
that
brand
as
ng Asia Brewery na gin?
And it should be marketed.
Gin Kapitan ba yun? Gin Kapitan, ano? Hindi,
Kapitan,
yung
Gin.
Gin Kapitan.
Yes. The only thing that I see that we did not develop is the lambanog, as you were talking about a while ago. So because the Koreans developed this drink called soju. That's their national drink. The Japanese has their sake.
Yeah.
And we should have our own lambanog as Filipinos. Kaya lang, we did not harness the quality. Walang nag-check. Walang body na nagko-control. So, nasira. There's no quality.
Mike, in fairness, meron naman ang deal.
There's no brand, there's no quality, there's no
vision,
there's no investment. Sayang.
I have a question for Mike. So Mike, a question ko is, what do you think of the small, parang the artisanal, parang distillers right now, yung mga gumagawa ng small batch na for example, yung Don Papa. Yung mga
Don Papa rum.
Yeah, these guys are
Don
small,
Papa
pero
actually is a local rum. Is owned by a French guy who used to work for Remy. He went to Bacolod and there's because of a lot of sugar cane, he said, okay, make me this kind of rum, this kind of style, and I will sell it for 1,000 pesos. That's how it started.
Wow.
So from
ganun lang yun,
200, from 150 of Tanduay, and then becomes this Don Papa with good packaging, good bottle, good label, good name, and of course it's a good rum, but it's also same as the rum being produced by Tanduay, but they just market it as an imported
as a premium rum.
Yes, and then what happened was he started selling abroad, and he started doing well in France, doing very, very well in France. Don Papa, yes, and eventually it's going to be sold to a company abroad. I think that is the end game. But the problem with Don Papa is they don't have their own sugar cane. They don't have their own plantation. They just buy this
from suppliers.
Yes,
in Negros,
rum.
Marketing genius yung lalaki na yun.
Yes, he used to work for Remy. He's a marketing guy from Remy, and he's a foreigner. He's a French guy, and it's very, very good.
I heard that the bottle was designed pa in London. Sa London pa daw dinesign yung bottle niya. So ang ganda ng
bote.
Ang istorya. Tsaka meron pa mga from the foothills of, di ba? From the foothills of, alam mo namang alam mo maganda yung pagkakasulat.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because of aging.
Marketing story.
Yes, there's a story behind it. Yeah.
Galing, fascinating. You know the irony of it all.
Ano na pangalan ngayon ng Ano na ba pangalan ng beer ngayon? Yung pa rin ba?
Pero kanila din yung Budweiser, I think, dito. Yeah, so yun yung parang
Budweiser dito.
Pinupuktok nila.
The Budweiser kasi
Heineken yata.
used to be bottled locally by Asian Brewery about 10 years ago. The problem was when they were doing Budweiser, the quality of water was very, very bad because we have ang sama ng tubig natin So when they were sending samples abroad every now and then, baksak lagi. Ang sama ng lasa ng Budweiser.
Hindi nagmamatch dun sa formula.
Of course, because the water is very essential in producing anything. It's the key ingredient. The water
pero yun din ang key
very,
ingredient ng San Miguel dito na masarap
of
naman. Of course. Diba?
Well, yun nga, different taste profile kasi. So eventually, Budweiser pulled out internationally. Sabi namin, we cannot work with you. We pulled out.
So ang kanila ngayon would be Heineken na lang.
Yes, and then we started bringing imported it from the US. About 5 years ago, we started importing it. But the problem was, there was still the stigma of it being local and the taste.
Yes.
So it took time. It took time before, but it's still very, very small market. Still very, very
Did you say Mike na na kaya hindi maka-diretso, maka-ratsyada ito Asia Brewery is because of that. Kasi ang dami na nilang brands na dinaanan.
It's a combination na siguro eh.
Yeah.
Combination na eh. I remember they had Carlsberg before, and I was talking to an Asia Brewery guy. The water was being sourced from the Maria Cristina Falls. Kaya nga sabi niya, kaya hindi nasisira ang tiyan ng mga nagka-Carlsberg. Unlike pag San Miguel, minsan nasisira ang tiyan next day, di ba? But Carlsberg, hindi raw nasisira because the water is purer. No, I don't know if there's a semblance of truth to that, but that's how we explained it.
Alex?
Well, according to dati, I had a good chance of going on a brewery tour of San Miguel. Mm-hmm. So we talked to their brewmaster, this guy with a PhD in chemistry. Anyway, he was saying, water kasi, you can filter that and process it to any specification you want. So, yung sinasabing mas masarap, di ba, there was also a talk na mas masarap yung beer sa Mandaue. Yung San Miguel beer sa Mandaue because of the water there versus the beer, let's say, brewed in Polo, the San Fernando plant. He was saying that's all bullshit because it's all chemistry. You can process the water any way you want.
Yes.
Any specification you want. So that the water is consistent, and then it really is up to the brewmaster now to mix the hops, yeast, malt.
Yes.
Sir Alex, have you tried that? No? Have you tried the San Miguel beer parang made in Australia? Ayun, tatanong ko lang kay Mike if na-try na yung San Miguel na ginagawa sa Australia. Because they're saying that actually has a different profile from the local one.
The usual pale?
Because of the water daw.
Pero tama yung punto ni Alex eh. Tama yung punto mo Alex tungkol dun sa water. Pwedeng i-alter based dun sa specifications, di ba?
So Alex, natanong mo ba dun sa chemist at all, yung madalas tinatanong pag nagiinuman kahit nung mas bata ka, tama bang lagyan ng yelo yung beer o hindi?
No. If you ask any brewmaster, di ba, they spend hours and years getting that recipe right.
And then you mix it with ice.
The best beer I had in the Philippines was yung derecho from the tap in the San Miguel Brewery, na perfectly chilled. It's like fucking mother's milk.
Yep.
Parang ininom mo mula sa suso ni Gretchen Barreto yung beer na yun. Sino man yung pinagnanasaan mo? It's the best beer I ever had.
Si Tonypet, si Phoebe Cates, di ba?
Bob kasi hanggang iba na lang eh. Hanggang iba na ka lang, Bob.
Si Teddy, Eva Darin.
Oy, alam mo ba si Bella Flores, ano noon? Sexy star si Bella Flores, ha?
Oo, pare.
May poster ka.
Collector's
Newsprint.
item.
Newsprint na black and white.
Really, the best beer is the one that's perfectly chilled. And hindi sub-zero, because if the beer is sub-zero, below zero, what that does is it numbs your taste buds. And you can't really taste, all the flavors that the brewmaster has tried to incorporate in the beer.
So you mean, Alex, hindi yung from the freezer, hindi dapat, di ba?
Ideally,
ice cold.
Oh, ice cold, but not sub-zero temperature.
Ay, George,
but then again,
baka sitahin mo na naman ako dito sa suggestion sa mga tagagawa ng gin. Ito magandang brand name.
Banaya.
Gin. Tapos lagyan mo ng TO sa dulo.
Ay,
Ginto.
meron. There's a brand.
Ginto.
Meron na ganun, di ba?
Meron na ba?
May brand.
Okay, tama.
Naunahan ka na, pare.
Naunahan na, hindi ko
Pare,
na-copyright.
tignan mo yung...
Hindi, tinakaw ang idea mo. Hablahin mo.
Diba? Sa fine
Tinakaw
print
ang
nakalagay
idea mo,
naman
Teddy.
Stolen from Teddy Pereña. Kaya,
Di ba?
From
Ginto.
Meron.
From Yamashita's Treasure.
oh.
Hablahin mo, Teddy.
Tama,
Mga
yun
200
yung
billion,
slogan.
tapos palatuan mo kami lahat.
Yun. Langiyaw.
Ito pa isa madalas na natatanong pag anong binakabagay sa napulutan sa beer?
Yun, sa beer.
Ay.
Bukod sa isang
Mani,
patitong mani.
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 Yun ang pinakamura.
Si Mike
Pinakamura sa iba, libre pa. Hindi, may mas mura din doon. Cheese curls.
Pero Mike,
Diba?
yung mani, it also works with diba, spirits na iba. Yung mas maano.
Di ba? Ang tawag nila sa mani? Legumes ba?
Yeah.
Tama ba?
Well, basically sa beer kasi masarap kasi pag may kinakain ka medyo fatty.
Oo.
Kasi
It cuts through the rich.
flavor profile comes out with the
Yeah, what about
food.
pag
Kaya
pumapasok
masarap
sa
kasi
brandy
pata,
o kaya
sisig.
sa ano? Yung mga brandy
Well,
tsaka whiskey, like for instance.
Alam mo masarap
Brand
sa
naman.
whiskey? Ito. Kiamoy.
Kiamoy?
Champoy?
Kiamoy. The best yan. Whiskey tsaka to.
Bakit?
Chocolate.
Bakit?
Have you
Alat?
tried chocolate with whiskey?
Yes.
Yun ang
Chocolate with
masarap.
whiskey.
Chocolate or
Yes.
nuts, yes.
Oo.
Bitter chocolate with a
Yes.
really good whiskey.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Parang, ayun na, a really good chocolate with good whiskey. Parang everything seems right with the world.
Oh yeah. Oo, di ba? Parang,
And with
parang
the
katabi
cigar,
mo na si Gretchen.
Ang ganda na kay Mati. Tingnan mo, George.
Oo. SMB with leche plan.
Hindi ko pa yata nasusubukan yan. Nasa thought?
Kaya George, yung kay Tita Paring na bibingka.
Yun. Suman,
diba?
ano?
Oh, na-plug
Suman
pa
ni Tita
natin.
pa rin. Oo.
Na-plug pa natin, George.
Durian with
Oo.
whiskey is very good.
Durian?
Durian with
Ay,
whiskey.
oo, sa Davao, yun ang
Davao,
sa Insular
yan ang ginagawa
Hotel.
nila sa Davao.
Yun.
Gaganon-ganon yung
Durian
durian.
with whiskey.
Oh.
Ako, I will hazard this. To me, the best, I think, na bagay sa San Miguel beer is freshly cooked lechon Cebu.
Wow.
I had that, nakaswerte ako nun. We were in Cebu for a business trip, but we had a friend who lived in Cebu. So she took us to
CNT.
No. This is somewhere in Talisay near the church.
Okay. Oo.
Doon lang sa si Aling Carmen's the name of this lechonera.
Hindi pa rin sa Karkar.
Talisay.
Talisay. Oo.
About a couple of minutes out of Cebu City.
Yeah.
So,
nandun yung Tambuli Beach Resort.
Basta yung kaibigan namin from Cebu called up the lechonera. So pagdating namin dun sa kanyang talipapa, very barok talaga yung settings. Hawaiian, plastic plates, yung tinidor at kutsara, parang the cheapest metal available. Very
Pag
cheap
ididiin mo, tumitiklop.
Oo, gano'n. Pero the lechon, na paglapag sa mesa mo, uusok pa.
Yeah.
Parang
So good.
gusto kong halikan yung naglilitsyon nun kahit lalaki pa yun ang pangit. Parang ituturin ko yung litsonero na yun. Ang sarap ng litsonero with the beer.
Alam mo, isa pa masarap sa ganyan, napag-usapan lang ganon, sa Bacolod, sa Palapala.
Yeah.
Sa Palapala, yung kukuha,
Seafood.
yung tuturo ka, yung mga seafood, ilalapag sa'yo. Walang plato eh. Walang plato eh. Dyaryo lang yung katapat eh. Ipapatong lang doon lahat ng pagkain mo, tapos may beer ka, swak na yun.
Pero George, Alex, lumaki tayo sa Laloma. Yung
Oh.
original na Laloma lechon, yung matabang ng konti, yun yung parang binabagayan din yung lasa ng pale pilsen na original eh.
Oo.
Ako personally, yun ang Pero hindi ko na nalalasahan ngayon kasi hindi ko na na-chechempo.
Yan, sisihin mo si Man Tomas doon. Siya yung...
wala na siya eh. Si Mang Tomas.
Kaya lang, the best sarsa si Aling Mila. Yun ang best sa
George, ano yung kaibigan mo? George. Bob, ano yung kaibigan mo doon?
Si Ping-Ping.
Ping-Ping, okay.
Ping-Ping. Yun naman, nag-improvise sa salsa. Chunky yung salsa niya. May mga pira-pirasong atay. Okay din. Masarap yung lechon. Hi, Maka.
Tsaka madaling kumuha yung Ping-Ping. Katapat lang niya yung North Cemetery.
Kakanto lang ng bahay namin dati yun.
Ikaw, George, hindi ka papadala ni Bob sa Pasko.
Atay.
Whiskey. Ayun, tama yung kapatid ko, si Manny. Whiskey and kwento. Hindi ba? That's the best. Magkwentuhan na lang. Kaya lang walang tatalo kasi pag when we get together, sila Mike, no? Tapos yung mga barkada sa San Beda. Yung Bob Garcia, yung Dr. Bob Garcia, kung magpakain yun, no? Mag-uumpisa tayo, merienda, no? Oo. Ano yan, may curfew siya. Alas 10 o kaya alas 12. Depende kung may trabaho next day. Mag-uumpisa ng merienda, may dinner, may after dinner, tapos magluluto pa siya ng breakfast. Oo, bago kami umuwi. Grabe yun.
Parang wala kayong kinikilalang relo.
Oo, yun.
Ano pangalan nito?
Si Dr. Bob Garcia,
Dr.
dentista
Bob.
yan. Oo. Pag habang nagpapabunot ka, pinapanood niya yung Boomer's Banquet.
Yung ilong na pala yung binubunot.
Yun ang ano doon. So hello dun sa mga Sunday boys na pumupunta kay Bob Garcia, sila Mike, of course si Kuya Benson, and all the barkada, si Gutch Gutierrez, also a dentist, no? Yon.
Oh, by the way, yung aming pwede kayo mag-post dito ng kahit na anong isasaksak nyong kwento dito sa amin. You're very welcome. May mga naglalagay nga. Kanya-kanyang pakwela yan. So, free for
yung
all.
Kay Yok maganda eh. I think this is directed towards Mike. No? Mike, what would you recommend as a first date wine? Yung madaling makalasing.
Well, yeah.
Di ba tequila lang yan?
Ang pagwapo,
It's a
gano'n?
first date wine. Kasi wine and food, of course, they go together talaga eh. Pero when you take a meal with the wine, usually you start with the white wine.
Yeah.
And then you end up with the red wine, with the meal. Pero I would recommend, yun nga, if you can go on a date, siguro mag-umpisa muna siya with either a sparkling wine, like parang appetizer, and then if they're gonna order steak or whatever, siguro pag steak, red wine, and pag chicken or fish, tuloy-tuloy na yung white wine. Yes. And wine kasi, I would really say, it's a very complex beverage because the taste profile differs from the region where it comes from. Like France has their own taste profile, and then in France there's so many regions: Burgundy, Bordeaux, and then when you go to Italy, naman they have their own same thing. Spain, and then the New World, and when you go to Napa Valley, it's the same. So siguro start off with the generic lang muna. If the person is a first time drinker, start with the generic. Ibig sabihin blended wine. There's no varietal stated in the bottle. It's not a Cabernet. It's not a Merlot.
May kanon.
Yeah. Yes. Yung let's say an example of a generic one, let's say it just says red wine. Ganun lang. Kasi yung pag sinabi mong Cabernet, the stated Cabernet, the taste profile is going to be very, very different from a Merlot. Merlot kasi is very light, easy to drink, pero Cabernet the flavor is very intense. So if you're first time drinker, baka yun nga, hindi mo ma-enjoy. So yung blended kasi yung red wine, it's just it's a generic one. Yun yung maganda kasi pagka first time ka, different flavors, very, very fruity. And also, I would recommend Australian wines because they're very, very fruity. Yun yung characteristic of Australian. Fruit flavored kagad yung pag ininom siya, lalabas kagad yung fruit. Unlike the
sa
other
prices, Mike?
countries.
Sa mga prices, Mike, alin ang pinaka-affordable sa kanila?
Yun nga, yung non-varietal, yung it's just red wine, is about 120 to 180. Yun yung price range yan eh. Pero you can get naman varietals that is below 200 coming from regions of Chile. Kasi Chile wine
Masarap ang Chilean wine,
a value. Yeah, it's a value for money wine. The wine is very good quality, but the price is not that high because sa Chile, wine is very important. So yung labor nila mura rin. So when they export, the prices are very, very, very competitive. And then if you want something, it's always kasi the wine is divided into two worlds. The old world, which is the in Europe, the first wine-producing countries. And then the new world, ito yung mga bago na Australia, US.
New Zealand.
Marami
South Africa.
magagandang wine sa US. South Africa, yes. US is also a good wine producing country. So,
Alex?
So in terms of pricing, the entry level is about 120 to 200.
Ayun. So, Koy, meron ka ng ano?
400 to 500.
O, Yok, may idea ka na, ha? Hindi ka guys si Mati, isang real lang raw ang bibigay.
Ako, may suggestion din ako. Kung nagtitipid ka tapos Alex. First date yan, ako nagtitipid ka tapos first date, tequila.
Tequila.
Lasing agad din.
Pero sa atin, di ba sa local, kaya sumikat yung yung Red Horse dahil matapang, may sipa kagad, di ba? Kaya yun ang, di ba tama ako, number 1 na beer sa atin ang
as they say,
Red
tequila
Horse.
is the best leg opener.
Yun.
Kaya mga bata talaga tequila iniinom eh. You don't have to chill it. You drink it straight from the bottle. And you take it with salt or lime. Tapos,
swak na yun.
Ako hindi ko gusto yun. Can't stand it.
Pero confirm, di ba? Confirm yung sinabi ko na ang number 1 beer ngayon sa Pilipinas, Red Horse.
Yata.
Tama. Na-overtake niya na ang San Miguel beer, Pale Pilsen. Kasi nga may sipa.
For some time yun, light ang nag-number 1 eh.
Diba?
Yeah. Di kaya lang yung it makes sense dahil lang Red Horse, syempre, yung kahit konti lang inumin mo, may tama ka na eh.
Yun na nga. Mas mura in the long run.
Dalawang bote pa lang, mukha na ngayon. Mukha na sexy yung misis mo.
Pero
sa mga kababaihan, yung MP, ang tawag nila MP Lights, di ba?
MP Lights.
Matindi na. MP Lights.
Kaya lang naalala ko dati, nagiinuman kami ng mga taga-RT. RT pa ako noon. Hindi, nag-LS na ako. Kaya lang kainuman ko mga taga-RT. Sa bahay nila Erickson. Bagong-bago pa yung Beerhausen noon. Beerhausen, tira, yan. Nabitin. Magpapabili kami. Wala nang mabili. Red Horse na lang. Okay na yan, Red Horse. Tira. Sign on ako, 5:00 ng umaga. Pagdating ko sa LS, hindi yung turntable yung umiikot. Yung buong mesa umiikot ganyan. Hayop yung grabe. Never again.
Speaking of
give spinner a whole new meaning.
Speaking of crappy beer, tanda niyo yung 85 nung si Cory called for a boycott of all San Miguel products. So yung head ng agency namin, I was still in DYR noon the biggest agency on Vito Cruz.
Si Alcantara Deer. Alcantara Deer.
So si Boy Javier, yung bossing namin nun. So okay, makaka-Cory tayong lahat. Cory naman talaga kami lahat. So you have to boycott Marcos and all his goddamn cronies. So nag-inom mo kami sa Memorial Cafe. So it's another inuman sa Vito Cruz. Yeah.
Sa Rizal.
So syempre wala San Miguel beer. Ano yung beer namin? Manila beer. Isang round kami. Tangina, isang sip pa lang talagang puta. It's worse than horse. Sabi ko, boy, sorry ako, makaka-Cory, pero hindi ko talaga pwedeng inumin to. Peng! Parang, diba?
Ano rin yun? Asia Brewery rin yun, di ba? Yung Manila beer.
Yan nga yung worst piece.
Worst beers ever. Manila beer. Maganda yung ads. I mean, the nicest pala yung music ng hotdog. I don't know why Dennis Garcia agreed to lend his music to that a crappy beer. Pero I guess kailangan yung pambayad ng condominium or whatever. Pero Manila beer, worst beer ever yun.
Si Manny Sabares naman, ice wine from Niagara. Ayun pa, no, ha? Pupunta pa.
Hoy, Manny, what's up?
Sa Canada kasi siya.
Yung ice wine niya, nalagyan niya ng Colgate siguro yan. Ano? Kaya ice. Ice yung Philip.
Fresh plus.
Fresh plus. Yun ang ano doon. Mati Fernando, may bagong labas ang Red Horse Super, 10% alcohol content. So that's 20 proof, no, Mike?
Ooh.
Yes.
20 proof.
Yeah.
Diba?
Actually, that's very high alcohol already.
Yeah, oo.
Very high alcohol.
Di ba ang tama ba?
Is about 7 eh.
Oo.
7.1.
Ang beer hindi classified as alcoholic.
But we have a beer called Royal Dutch. It's 16% alcohol.
That's what you gave me.
Royal Dutch, yes.
That's what you gave me, yung Royal
alcohol.
Dutch na yun.
Imagine drinking a 16% alcohol.
Oo. Yung tapos sabi mo, hindi nakakalasing.
Yung ba yung pula?
Pagkainom ko nga, akala ko nasa KLM ako eh. Royal Dutch Airlines.
Naalala ko pa.
The only thing with Red Horse,
High level yata title na.
yeah, for them to make the alcohol higher, the percentage of alcohol higher, they add I think they add spirit or something. Unlike yung mga imported higher alcohol, they do it in the process of the yeast. They add more yeast that will make the alcohol higher.
Dito, dadagdagan na lang ng gin.
Hindi mo malasahan masyado yung alcohol. Oo, para
So, totoo ba na ano?
Ramdam mo yung tapang eh.
Yeah. So, yung Red Horse, may halo siya
supposed
talaga
to be.
May halong gin talaga yung Red Horse.
I don't know the process.
As far as I know, that's not true.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true, but yun lang, medyo
but
may...
yeah, that was one of the popular urban legends at the time.
No,
diba?
The best urban legend was the smiling horse.
The smiling horse.
Yeah. The technology.
Ano yung smiling horse? Ano yun? Hindi ko alam yun.
Merong klase ng bote ng Red Horse na nakangiti yung kabayo. Di ba?
The best daw yun.
Alex?
Oo. Yun yung ibibigay mo sa first date mo.
That's new to me. So, parang smiling kabayo was, sige, inumin mo to, you're gonna be fucked.
The just F look.
O tama ba yung binanggit ko na ang beer hindi classified as alcoholic drink? Beverage lang yun. Dahil sa alcohol content, di ba? Alcohol content.
In other words, pag may liquor ban, hindi kasama beer dapat.
Dapat.
Kasama. Kasi it has liquor. The definition of liquor, anything with alcohol.
Alcohol.
I see.
Speaking of liquor bans, I have this story. May election nun eh. Nakalimutan namin na election era. So, some guys in the office, we decided, tara, inom tayo. So, we went to this bar in Malate. Pasok namin. 3 beer. Sir, bawal po mag-serve ng beer eh. May election liquor ban. Nag-trip ako lang, nagpanggap akong, I don't know what I was pretending to be. I just started speaking. Ay, hakna, nagpanggap akong foreigner. Why is there liquor ban? I am not Filipino. What's the ending? Oh, can I see your passport? It's at the hotel. I'm sorry, sir. We can't give you beer. Okay, fine.
Wala, hindi ka nakalusot.
Wala.
Ang tatay ko iba sa intercon. May liquor ban. Siyempre, bawal. Sineserve lang sa foreigners eh. Binigyan siya. Alam mo kung saan nakalagay? Sa lalagyan ng tsaa. yung teapot.
Okay. Yung sa
hindi ba?
Wherever it is your dad was drinking.
Bubuhos mo ganyan dun sa tasa, di mo kan tsaa siya, di ba? Yun.
Galing ah.
Ayos. Mga ano nun eh. Mike, ano pa mga dala mo na mga famous brands?
Yeah,
Si
we have
Jeric
a
Mariano.
tequila. Yeah.
Ano yung tequila
We have
mo?
a tequila called Jose Cuervo, which is
Yung Cuervo.
one of the number one tequila in the US and in the world. It's made in Mexico, of course. It's because tequila is not like the other spirits wherein you get the fruit and then you ferment it and you distill it and then you age it. Tequila, it comes from it's not a fruit, it's like a lily, the agave plant.
Yung agave,
and
no?
you wait 7 years before you can harvest it. Baliktad. Yung aging niya nasa lupa.
Plant.
Antay ka 7 years before you can harvest and cook this plant and turn it into tequila. Baliktad siya. And then we also have a product called Jägermeister. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's from Germany. Very
Ang daming naloko yan, pare, ng Jägermeister.
It's actually...
Di ba, Jägermeister, maraming nabuntis dahil dyan, di ba?
Its tagline is the best night you'll never remember. Because that's what it is. When you drink that, you will never remember. But if you had a great time, I guarantee it.
All I know is I had a good time. I don't know why.
Yeah, since napag-usapan yan, you remember the Hangover movies, di ba? Maraming offshoot yun. So, posible ba talaga yung ganun? Tama si Jeric, sinabi niya parang cup syrup. Tapos wala kang maalala. Yan. Ano, so, nangyari ba talaga yun? Kasi hindi mo na nalimutan mo na lahat na nangyari. Tapos
Ako, nangyari na sa akin yan.
Yeah?
Nangyari
Hindi,
na sa
Alzheimer's yung sa'yo, George. Alzheimer's.
Huwag kang magulo dyan.
ED. Edad.
It's like drinking, and then you don't know how you got home. Yung nakakatakot.
Oo.
When you wake up, you don't remember how you got home.
Tumugtog pa ako sa isang bar sa Green Hills. Kaya lang, tapos umuwi pa nga raw ako, sabi nung mga kasama ko eh. Kaya lang next day, wala akong maalala kung ano nangyari. Parang na-erase sa memory ko. Alzheimer's nga siguro yun, Freddy?
early case.
But that's
Sabi
scary.
ni Jeric, idol ka daw, Alex. Idol ka sa advertising ni Jeric
Oh,
Mariano.
lasing lang yung si Jeric.
Ang aga-aga, Jeric. Jaeger with Red Bull Bomb. Anong klase yun, Mike?
Yeah.
Yes.
Red Bull. We do Red Bull.
Ginagawa ng mga bata ngayon yan.
Yeah, and you mix it with Jaeger. Yeah, because Red Bull is uppers and the Jaeger is downer. You mix it together.
Dinalito yung utak mo.
Well, yeah, you're up all night. Your spirit is up all night. Kaya it's a party drink.
Mm-hmm.
Grabe, no?
But
and also they mix Red Bull with vodka. Yeah.
Hanggang umaga, tugs.
Yes. Caffeine and then the alcohol. Yeah.
Bob, kung Brit ang sinasabi. Brit. Iba ang tinira noon, iba.
Iba. Alex, you were saying?
I think the reason I learned to watch and pace myself during drinking was after a blackout episode like that. May isang inuman sa usual office inuman na the last memory I had nung morning was nakasandal ako sa pader with a beer in my hand. Tapos, basta nagising ako one Saturday morning. Shit, nasan ako? Tapos tumingin ako sa pader. Okay, kurtira ng bahay namin to. Nasa sala ako. Okay, hindi ako umabot sa taas. Tapos next question, paano ako Ako di ko talaga maalala. Tinignan ko yung pitaka ko. Basta I remember I had $500 in my wallet the day before. Writer lang yata ako nun eh. Tapos nagtingin ko sa pitaka ko, 200 na lang. Nag-taxi siguro ako, pero hindi ako sigurado. Tinawagan ko yung huling memory ko na sinabayan ko ng pauwi ako sa QC. Paano ako na
Alex, naabutan mo si Royce.
Hindi na makita sa Quezon Avenue tsaka EDSA. At lumalakad ako. Oo!
Mike, you were asking, ano yung tinatanong mo kay Alex?
Sino kilala niya?
Edwin Monson.
Oo, si Edwin Monson.
Siya yung kasabay ko doon.
Si Edwin?
Sinabay ako nun pa uwi. But other than that, wala
si Edwin? Mike?
Wala yung ni Mike, yung audio.
Wala yung mic mo.
Pero George, mas okay na yung AD kaysa ED.
Ano yung ED?
Baka kailangan mo na ng vitamin V noon. Vitamin V.
Ano wala yun? Yan.
Unstable yung
alam mo itong usapan natin to, sana kapulutan ng aral. Sana kapulutan nyo ng aral.
Don't do this at home, kids.
For professionals only.
Tatanungin ko nga sana nga kay Mike bakit bandang absence? Yung anak ko bumibili nun sa Magallanes pa, patago.
Band?
Absence.
Mike?
Hindi yata tayo nadidinig ni Mike.
Naka-absent yata si Mike.
Absent
illegal siya sa di ba? Illegal siya i-import actually.
Yun na nga Sa Magallanes may nabibilan doon sa tabi ng Kublais.
Binuko mo naman.
Hello.
Yon, Mike.
Yeah.
Bakit bandang absent?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, because the absent product is a protocol. It's a protocol to John. John is like a drug that causes hallucination. So it's by FDA. But in France, you can take absinthe, and it will cause you to really hallucinate in large quantity of volume. Pero here they don't. The FDA didn't allow because of that ingredient, and of course they cannot take it out because of that. That makes absinthe the product is
what it is
to John. Yes, what it is. We used to carry it when the FDA was not strict, but after a year they shut us down. We used to import it. Yeah. Sayang.
Grabe, no?
Yeah.
Yun yung mga ng mga bata yung absence isa pa yan
Tsaka you could take it with di ba? Tama ba, Mike? You can take it with sugar, with sugar, tapos...
Yes, actually there's a sugar spoon. Sugar spoon like this one. You put
parang nagluluto ng meth, di ba?
Sugar, and you light it up. When the alcohol is so high, is 55% alcohol, so 110 proof.
You have to burn it down.
It will light up. It will light up, and the sugar will come down to the absinthe, and the liquid will change color.
Wow.
Galing. It's a ritual.
Buti hindi sinisinghot yan,
Ganun mo, di ba? The green fairy.
Luto ng meth nga.
Ibang klase,
So, ano ba pinapag-usapan natin to as gentlemen who drink?
Discussion.
Ano Mike ang preferred drinks naman ng females?
Bob, isa lang ang sagot dyan. Ladies drink. Ladies drink.
Triple bayad nun, tsaka ako rin magbabayad.
Naka-napkin.
The market kasi for female drinkers has evolved dramatically. Kala natin tayo lang ang magagaling uminom. Babae magagaling din. They are into gin. You know the gin, the expensive gin, the Plymouth, the Nordis gin, the 2,000 peso bottle gin, and then they mix it with tonic. The tonic is called Fever Tree, the premium tonic, and you mix it together. That's what they drink.
And do they consume that in high amounts?
Sophisticated animals, and also, of course, they're into wine. They like good quality wine, and some like whiskey, single malts. You'll be impressed. They know more than the men.
Grabe, no?
So yun yung market. But basically, they like also cocktails. That's why the Negroni drink is very, very popular with them. Negroni is a drink made of Campari, vermouth, and gin mixed together. And it's a very bitter bitter-sweet taste. Galing no drink. You bitter and sweetness at one drink, at one sip. So, yun ang mga iniinom nila ngayon.
Grabe, no?
May nakaka-beat sa volume ng naiinom doon sa typical na, gentleman who drinks. Mga ganun. May mga malakas talaga.
May mga kilala
Meron. Oo.
Mga babae na malalakas.
Yung dati kong boss, si Maricel.
Malakas.
She was
Saka lang.
legendary drinker before she gave her life to Jesus.
Yeah. May mga ganun talaga na yung parang sa 10 years after dati, yung hard rock pa dati yun, meron nakikipag-toast sa akin, yung talagang unahan sa yung pabilisan ng inom ng beer.
But of course, they also drink tequila. They drink tequila. They drink the quality stuff. Patron or 1800. Yeah. Kasi Cuervo is for the young people. Pero sophisticated ladies, they go for the higher end tequilas. Yeah, Patron,
yung Patron
or 1800. Because Patron is 100% agave, meaning all the ingredients coming from one head of the plant. They use this plant called blue agave, which is very hard to get in Mexico. Kaya mahal eh.
Bakit mas mahal
flavored, masarap?
Bakit pag may worm mas mahal?
Yung worm. Bakit may worms?
Yung worm nga.
Yeah, yung worm, uso kasi sa Mexico yung worm eh. Parang pamacho eh. Pero sa atin, parang hindi nag-click yung worm eh. Kasi kakainin mo sa dulo, di ba?
Oo.
Tapos inuman mo ng combat rin.
Sino mo gusto kumain ng worm dito? Yung mga Mexican na mga macho sila eh. So, they really put the worm inside the bottle.
Yung mga nakakain na niinom ng combat rin.
Chaser.
Chaser.
Yeah.
I think that's just marketing bullshit yung worm na yan.
Yeah,
parang
that's true.
Also eating di ba yung
sa lagubang.
Have you tried eating yung kamaro sa Pampanga?
Sa Ilocos, sa lagubang, di ba?
Or whatever other insect. Parang to me, ako sinubukan ko lang minsan just to know na, okay, sige, get it off my bucket list. Nakakain na ako ng insekto. Tikim.
Tapos?
Okay.
Hindi na uulit.
Pero, di ba, kung pulutan lang, just give me lechon Cebu or a fresh oyster in Iloilo.
Mani at cornic lang, okay na eh.
Yun, so ayun.
Do you still make, Sir Alex, sisig?
Yes.
I will order.
Actually, alam mo, pwede gawin ng Pilipino, yung lampanog, lagyan ng ipis. Di ba? Tapos sabihin natin, okay.
Exotic.
Korean bag.
Actually, magandang idea yan. Ito be our practical joke on the world.
Exotic.
Taka naman kagato umiinom ng alak na may ipis, fucking idiots.
Ganun ang lasa ng banayad, whiskey eh. Di ba? Ang lasa ng banayad, ganun eh. Parang may ipis.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no controlling body also controlling the amount of ethanol in the bottle. Kaya yung mga local spirits, nakakatakot. Yung mga backyard local spirits, nakakatakot to gamble and drink. Because the control of ethanol in the bottle, you don't know really kung ilan eh. Kasi if you have too much ethanol in your system, you die. You either go to a coma or you die.
Okay. Para si Amy Winehouse, alcohol poisoning.
Bakit wala tayong regulatory na
well, because we are in the Philippines and
di ba dapat FDA yon?
FDA din yan.
Well, yes.
Kino-consume.
Exactly. In fact, I'm very sad to say, but even our drunk driving law was only passed 5 years ago. And,
precisely.
And we cannot even implement it. We cannot implement because we have no equipment. And the equipment is expensive. So how can you implement? In
Actually,
Metro Manila for
ang sabi nga sa
18
akin
million people. How do you regulate it? How do you implement? It's
ang na-import
impossible.
raw
You cannot do
natin,
it.
6 na breathalyzers.
Yes,
6 na
and
breathalyzers.
spread
For the whole of the
Dalawa,
Philippines.
ang dalawa nasa AAP pa. So Automobile Association of the Philippines.
Na private group.
Ayun.
Yeah,
So
kaya
4
people
na
get
lang yung
away with
natitira.
drunk driving.
Yeah.
Pero hindi tayo nalilimit sa lambanog, di ba? Sa mga local na spirits. Meron pang tuba, may basi.
Oo.
Yeah,
Tsaka basi.
they do tuba, they do gin, they do
Kasi sa
they
Ilocos.
do, yeah.
Sayang mga industriya sana yan na
Sayang,
pwedeng
sayang.
lumagana.
Oo.
Yeah, because we have so many coconut eh. Di ba, like if you think about it, if you to Spain, marami silang grapes. Kasi doon yung pupunta grape. Tinanim nila. Tayo coconut, di sana gawin natin ng something na byproduct that we can export and be proud of as Filipinos. Ang dami natin coconut. What do we do with it?
But why don't we do it?
Mike, huwag kang
Buko
mag-alala. Huwag kang mag-alala,
Coco
Mike.
oil? Yeah.
Pag nanalo yung
Yeah.
ni Tonypet, yung bet,
Oo. Magano?
i-develop yung na yan, yung industry na yan.
Ako gusto ko
Tama
malaman.
ba, Tonypet?
Yeah.
Ako may tanong ako.
Hindi ko na, libre na
Anong
yung shoot
tanong?
ko eh.
Anong tanong mo, Mr. Alex? In Wonderland.
Sino yung unang matapang na lalaki na he came across this lalagyan ng liquid na dating may coconut na nag-ferment over several months. Tapos naamoy niya na,
Uy,
ay,
masarap to.
maasim to! Medyo parang nabulok na rin. Pero fine, magsusugal ako, inumin ko to. Okay, amat sa. Who's the first idiot who thought of that? Ginawa yun. Di ba? Sino yung nagsugal na yun na, sige, baka magkasakit ako ng tiyan or baka malason ako, pero no, this could be alcohol.
Pero may malungkot na kwento lang doon, hindi niya na market, he could be a millionaire now.
Oo nga eh. O baka naman yung that idiot, ang ginawa, parang panis na to binigay sa babae. Tikman mo nga ito.
Sige, magubad ka na gano'n.
He's no idiot.
Yeah.
He's no
12:01
idiot.
na.
Okay.
Kasi nangyari.
Sige,
Send out na nga kayo lahat.
Sino yung genius na yun?
Lang yung buhay ito. Oy, teka, mahaba-habang usapan to. Alas 12 na pala.
12 na.
Kaya before we go, let's just hear from Tonypet first, your parting words to the aficionados out there. Yeah.
Yan.
Ako,
Ganda ng t-shirt ni Tonypet.
Now, for me, alcohol is, it's one of those industries and categories that did well in this pandemic. I mean, it helped people, take get a little bit of control, or at least lose a little bit of control also. So they're little luxuries eh. So in marketing, ganun yan eh. What gives you enough happiness at a certain point in your life, parang it's good. So I think I advocate drinking on a moderate level that allows you to enjoy and even izuman yung mga Zoom inuman ngayon. That helps people cope with the stress and with the with the added pressures.
Mental health.
So always drink. Try your best to drink and drink. There's no bad liquor naman eh. There's only good and better.
Yeah. Even if it tastes like horse piss. Alex.
Except for Manila beer.
Ako masasabi ko lang is Joey Venezuela, my Obi-Wan Kenobi of single malts, thank you. And daytime drinking is a vastly, criminally underrated pastime.
Oh yes.
The lost art of daytime drinking.
Oo. Ayan. Hindi pwede yung, may araw pa, wag muna tayo uminom. Kalokohan yan.
Why delay gratification?
Ayun, Thank you, Alex. Mike, our expert, we learned a lot from you today.
Yeah. Well, actually, a glass of wine or a glass of whiskey or two glasses of whiskey a day is very, very helpful for you. I'm telling you, it's good for you. So health-wise, yes. And we drink when we're happy, we drink when we're sad, and we drink when there's nothing to do. And as the Scottish would say, whiskey is the water of life. So let's enjoy while we're here, and we can actually at my point in life, we're already at midpoint, I would say. I don't know about you, but I'm already getting old. I drink less, but more quality drinks. And that's my advice for you.
Thank you,
beer,
Mike.
of course. Yeah, beer is always the staple. And, San Miguel is still a very, very good local beer. We should be proud of that, of San Miguel.
Very good. Thank you, Mike. And of course, no, sabi nga dati ng commercial na pinulaut, nakatikim ka na ba ng 13 ba yun? 15.
15.
Kay Mike, iba. Nakatikim ka na ba ng 60? 1.5 million lang.
1.5.
Hindi ba? Yun ang ano doon, no? Anong pangalan ng 60 na yun? Si Lola
Glenn Grant, 60 years old. Glenn
Grant, 60 years old. Si Lola Glenn Grant, no? Tawagan lang niyo si Mike Sanvictores sa Premium Wines and Spirits and makakatikim ka ng 60. Teddy, isa pang 60 anyos yan.
Oo, 63 na. Thank you kay Alex, kay Mike, at si Tonypet na best dress o best in uniform.
Yeah, best in uniform.
Sana si Roy Orjales nga pagawan tayo ng pink din ng Boomers. Salamat sa iyo at sa BioFresh Sats. Okay, sa Monday po ang guest natin
Subtle plugging.
Tatters.
Sino guest mo?
Tatters, yung may-ari, si Ani Tanchanko.
Oh, okay. Sige. Alright.
Sa susunod na Lunes, si General Borja.
Sino yun?
Alam si General Borja? Si Jimmy Fabregas.
Okay.
Imbitahin mo rin dito. Niyaya ko, kaya lang di ako sinagot.
Ayun.
Hindi, kasi nagte-taping sila. Tagal ko na nga ni-schedule.
Oo nga, nasa bubble sila.
Bubble taping sila eh. Ngayon, Bataan. Nasa Bataan sila.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob.
Ayun, so wala. Play on. Drink
on.
kahit hindi October, yan, sinabi na nga ni Mike yung value of this at saka yung the company and the conversations, sana mabigyan nyo ng pansin at ma-realize nyo yung halaga nitong mga ito. Anyway, thanks to our guests for joining us at salamat sa inyo sa inyong panonood at pakikinig. Remember, this is on YouTube permanently unless maban kami. Tsaka yung ano naman sa Spotify naman yung audio version nito na slightly
anong kailangan gawin para mapan?
Wala.
Kumanta ka ng bawal na kanta. Yun.
Bawal na pag-ibig.
Usually, doon lang naman kami nasisita pag pinatugtog namin yung bawal na kanta.
Copyrighted na kanta.
Yun.
No? Otherwise,
pero yung mga sinabi mo kanina, Alex, pasok lahat yun. Pasok yun.
Copyrighted ba yung bagong lipunan, March?
Wala. Okay, I would like to thank everyone. Tonypet, of course, Mike and Alex. Alex is a second time here. Thank you so much and hope to see you guys again. Mag-guest kayo uli pag wala kami maisip na topic.
Inuman na.
Pag ganun kasi, mahaba-habang inuman, di ba?
Ang word nga namin dati doon, George, hindi mo nga maalala tomaan. Tomaan na.
Di ba?
Panahon namin.
Toma na dyan, di ba? No?
Actually, ginawa namin to sa isang McCann Christmas party. Nag-inuman, tapos naka-mic. Para nakabuhat si inuman. Ang weird na dating, pero tawan-tawa ako.
Actually, kahit hindi ka naka-mic, nagsisigawan na pag nakainom, di ba? Hindi na kailangan ng mic.
Lasing yung baso.
Okay. Sige, we'll see you next week once again here on Boomer's Banquet. Good night. God bless. Ad Maiorem. Dei Gloriam.